With your data collection, and it's time for you to make your scatter plot and insert your line of best fit. So for everyone in regular math, you've already actually done this. So this will be a review. If you're an accelerated and you haven't played with this before, it's pretty straightforward. So I'm just going to make it. I'm going to make up my information as we go here. The category I picked was caffeine. So how many 8-ounce servings of caffeine did I have in one day? So I'm going to write down 8 OZ serving. OZ is the abbreviation for ounce. For you OCD people out there, if you want this to match the size of your column, I'm just double click between there and it'll automatically adjust it. And then for my B column, it's going to be sleep, and my unit will be hours. So we're going to see how much caffeine impacts the amount of sleep you get. Like I said, I'm just going to make these numbers up. Well, let's say on day 1, I had 3 8-ounce servings of caffeine. On day 2, 4. On day 3, 2. Day 4, let's say 5, I went crazy. And then on day 5, I only had 1. All right, so we kind of expect if you drink more caffeine, you're probably going to sleep a little bit less. So we're going to, in my information here, I'm going to make sure it reflects that. So let's say my average day I get 8. When I drink a lot of caffeine, it goes down a little bit, 7. If I have 2, maybe I get 8.5 hours. 5. A day I only got 6, and then I drank only 1 cup there. That night I got 9 hours of sleep. Okay, now that's the easy part. You guys should have all that information already written down. You should have taken care of that a while ago. So we're really just putting it into the spreadsheet so we can make a graph. All right, I have all the information entered. Unlike the graphs we made earlier in regular math this year, you're not required to have 20 points. We just want you to have your 5 days. So once you have those entered in, go ahead and highlight everything. So I'm just using the up and down arrow and holding down shift. Pretty easy. I can highlight whatever I want. So I'm going to go ahead and go back and highlight just the cells I need. When I'm done with that, click on insert and then go down to chart. Now the cool thing about Google Sheets and Excel is, generally speaking, they know what you're trying to do. I mean, this technology has moved a long ways. It's going to give you the most likely graph you're going to use. In this case, it just put that in as an XY scatter plot. Makes it super easy. If you go over here, we have I kind of dragged it over next to the table just so it looks a little bit neater. If you want to, you can actually put in your own page. I would just do what I did. It makes everything a little bit easier. If for some reason it gives you the wrong chart type, you can go over here and adjust it. So I don't know why we'd want a column chart. It doesn't really make sense with this. You definitely want a scatter plot. It's one that makes the most sense. It will probably be the one that your Google Sheets defaults you to, but if it doesn't, it's pretty easy to change. Next thing we want to do is we want to customize this thing. We want to add a trend line and some information on it. The cool thing is you notice that my unit's already there, both sides, sleep and caffeine. I don't need to change that. And I actually have a functioning title too. If you wanted to, you can adjust that. You could just make it sleep versus caffeine. Pretty easy to do. Double click on it. I'm going to go ahead and change mine. Go sleep versus caffeine. Pretty straightforward, makes sense, easy to use. All right, back to this. So go over to series, and then you're going to want to insert a trend line. So scroll down, we'll insert a line of best fit. This is in slope intercept form. That's what you want. It should be linear. It should have a curve to it. Should not be geometric. And then after I'm done with that, I'm going to go click on label and I'm going to use equation. So now I have my scatter plot done, trend line, and I have an equation at the top. You can use this equation later on to make predictions about the impact caffeine might have on this particular individual. I'm basically done. Last thing I need to do is go down here. I'm going to control click on this thing, on that tab. I'm going to rename it. And since we have to do a couple of these, I'm just going to rename this particular page sleep versus caffeine. Okay. Now, you're going to have to do one more. So process is basically the same, but you're probably wondering, well, how do I get another sheet? Really easy. All you do, click on the plus button, boom, new sheet. Now you're basically going to repeat exactly what you just did for whatever your next category is. All right, one more thing before you guys go. You'll notice that I have caffeine in the A column and sleep in the B column. The reason being is caffeine should be the independent variable. You decide how much caffeine you're going to drink. As much as we like to decide how much sleep we get, it's a little bit dependent on other factors in our life. So this is my independent variable. This is a variable I decide. This is a variable that's reacting to my independent variable. So I put this up as caffeine being my X, sleep being my Y. All right. Hope this was helpful.